Good morning, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm trying to do the best I can at this point in time. Um, I'm talking about a topic today that is close to my um, sort of, I won't say heart, but it's something that's going on at the moment in Australia. There's a big program out about it, and I actually over the course of, and I think I've actually talked about this topic once before. Um, there's a big thing going on around sleeping at the moment. Just about every mattress um, ad that you see is really about. It used to be about the comfort. Now it's about quality sleep. A lot of even just advertisements are now trying to bring sleep into their thing, and it is something very important that we need to talk about. But it's just amazing how I think probably about 10 years ago. Um, there was nobody ever talked about sleep. It was something you went to the doctor for and maybe got some sleeping tablets or they told you to do something. But these days it is something that we talk about. There was even as part of that, there was a huge document that they put in front of Parliament about sleeping and how it impacts. And I'm sure all of those people out there who are uh, shift workers or any sort of work that's outside of the 9 to 5 probably can do a test that sleeping and getting sleep when you're in that sort of state is extremely difficult, and it has a huge impact on your quality of life as well. Um, I mean, I'm not going to bang on about sleep and all the things that you can do. There's quite a lot of things out there. Obviously, one of the things that works for me, because I occasionally have trouble sleeping, but it's not something that I really have a huge problem with, is good sleep hygiene. And they don't mean about having fresh pajamas and those sort of things. It is around routine and making sure that you are doing the right things at the right time, turning off from screens at least a couple hours before you actually go to bed, going through the same pattern that you do when you go to bed, so that your body starts to realize, we're getting ready for bed. I better start to shut down external systems and be ready for sleep mode. Um, but there's also things that you do during the day. Make sure you get lots of sun, make sure you have lots of light, so that the body knows that you are supposed to be awake at this point in time. And if you do struggle to sleep, then don't have those afternoon naps, because sometimes they can be detrimental to you, especially depending on when you do them as well. So that's some very simple things about sleep hygiene. But I think the thing that we need to address is making sure that we understand what sleep really does for us. And there's quite a lot of stuff that it actually does that I was not aware of. Not only does sleep allow us to do the shifting of memories and make sure that every memory is filed away so that we remember it and we can pull it up again later. So that's one thing that certainly, and I think everybody sort of is aware of that one. One other thing that sleep does is it removes all the toxins from the brain. So while you're sleeping, it sort of like flushes the brain of toxins and makes sure that they're removed. So during the day, there's a buildup of all those things of what it does. So at night, it removes those toxins. And actually, if you don't remove those toxins, you can actually have it can actually impair your ability to be thinking and other things. I did have good sleep last night. I'm not struggling to talk because I didn't have sleep last night. I'm just struggling to talk because of other things are happening. So that's one thing I didn't realize. Dreaming is obviously another thing. That is something that sort of comes in later on, so that your brain is sort of looking at your subconscious and filing through those things. There's quite a few things there that it's doing, and there's other things that sleep actually does for the body. It also means that at that time it's repairing. So there's a lot of things it does for the brain, but then for the rest of the body, it also is about repairing and making sure that it's going through and looking at all the cells in the body and trying to flush out the bad ones. And that's why sometimes when we've had a heavy meal at night, that's sometimes reason why we might not be able to sleep, or when we sleep, it's not as good, because all of our energy is actually going to digestion rather than this repairing process. So sometimes have a look at your sleep, have a look at how you're doing things and what you're doing. Sleep is an abundantly important thing that we need as human beings. And it's something that I think it's interesting that it's getting more and more, there's more and more an awareness. And I think probably what that is that before the advent of screens, everybody probably had a fairly normal type of sleep hygiene. We'd come home, we'd eat at a certain time, we'd probably do some relaxing, and then we might watch TV for a little bit. Then we might probably go to bed and start reading a book, and then we'd naturally drop off. We'd obviously do other things in there, clean teeth, whatever, and stuff. But that was probably, for most people, that was our way of living. Maybe instead of TV, there might have been something else that we did there, board games or whatever. But that was fairly regular, probably around most people. And now, with the advent of screens, everybody's on those, and that's really, that blue light is really actually sort of causing havoc. And if you think this isn't really a problem and you didn't see the program, it's estimated, I've seen this statistic both for the US and the UK and for Australia, that 40% of people suffer with some sort of sleep problem and are not getting enough sleep. And more accidents on the road are due to sleep deprivation than anything else. So you might think there's a lot of stuff that's to do with alcohol and stuff like that, but actually the underlying cause a lot of times is sleep deprivation or somebody not having enough sleep. So the next time you sort of think about your sleep and it's okay, maybe sort of think about the things that you're doing and see how you can do that, because actually sleep is a fundamental thing. Like breathing and eating, sleeping is probably right up there with those in terms of the things that we need to do in order to make sure that we can be at our premium and our best. So think about your own sleep patterns, think about what there is, and if you didn't see it, watch the Michael Mosley thing on sleep. There was quite a lot of things there that they are talking about now that can help people sleep. So if you suffer from insomnia, if you suffer from sleep apnea, there's quite a lot of stuff out there. And even if you struggle with sleep hygiene, there's so much stuff that you can actually do that might just do the ticket for you. So don't suffer in silence, and certainly don't toss and turn at night. There are a lot of things that you can do, and it's not about, most of them are not to do with taking a tablet. So think about your sleep, think about your habits, and really try and nip this in the bud. Anyway, that's my second sleep video because I think it is so important. So hopefully you've got something out that and you can sleep better. So hopefully sleep well, sleep peacefully, and hopefully that will lead to a better quality of life as well. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.